Why do all of your favorite pro skaters seem to just get worse and worse at skating? What is it about getting old that makes everyone suck? Welcome back to Rad Rat Video, a channel about skateboarding where we talk about different kinds of skateboarding topics. I review things in the skateboarding world, make as many videos about different topics as I can come up with, and thanks to you, I have lots of interesting topics. The first question is from Scooter Transformer, who says, "Hey, Mr. Rattly Rat, don't want to spam you, so I put several questions into one email. Thoughts on TikTok? Should skaters go for it? Would the use be interesting for skateboarding?" I can't really think of a reason why TikTok would be better for skateboarding than anything else, but I don't have a problem with TikTok. I have an account on there. I got it just to reserve my name, but I often see stuff on there posted in different places that I like. And I try to do my very best not to hate on things that the youth are doing. It's easy to make fun of TikTok because of all the really cringy, embarrassing things that kids post on there. But I try not to hate on that stuff because, like, the stuff that I enjoyed at the time when I was young was made fun of by the older kids at that time, and that happened to them, and that happened to them, and that happened to them. You know, so like I was really into Pokemon when I was 10 years old. That was embarrassing to the kids who were 15, and that was kid stuff. You know, but like let people enjoy stuff. So I don't have a problem with TikTok. I don't see any special benefit for skateboarding unless there was a way to like. What video was that? There was a video where there's a part where they all do a trick and then like kick the board off screen, and then the next clip starts with it like rolling into their screen. I'm gonna see if I can find that. Like you could do stuff like that a little bit easier on TikTok, I guess. But let's go to your next question. Thoughts on the Olympics? Did you watch it and like it? Many hated it, although the system was like the SLS concept, and SLS seems to be popular with the majority of skaters. Do you think freestyle should be in the Olympic Games? I watched enough of it. I watched like the finals and like the gold runs and stuff like that. And the best trick contest one, I got kind of annoyed by. Like I don't know. I tried to watch it and it didn't seem like people knew what they were talking about quite as much. I liked the park stuff, just seeing the stuff that people were doing, but it didn't seem like the very best contest ever, you know, like everyone in the whole world sent the best skaters, but I don't know. It didn't blow me away. I don't really get much into watching contests these days anyway. So it was kind of lost on me for that reason anyway, but as to whether freestyle should be in the Olympics, I don't think you could find a freestyler from enough countries for that, honestly. I mean, it's popular. There will be enough here in America, in Japan, definitely, England. But, I mean, like, 5 or 6 countries would have somebody. I don't know. I don't think so. I really like freestyle, but I don't think it would work in the Olympics. All right. 3, I don't think that skateboarding will die out, but then again, aggressive inline skating did. What was the reason? I have a video about that right here. It's pretty old. You might want to check the comments for some corrections and stuff like that. But I do have a whole research project on that if you want to check that out. All right. Have you ever thought about a really big project like a book about skateboarding, which includes the content of your videos or maybe a history or documentary style movie? Big love from Germany. Oh, my mail is here. I have thought about that kind of stuff, but it's very, very difficult to like take that step. You know, like if I were to, I was thinking about making like some kind of video course, maybe like walking through like this is your first 2 years of skateboarding. And I'm going to teach you a trick. I'm going to tell you what trick to do next, how much to practice it, and like guide you through your first couple years of skateboarding. And I thought that would be a really cool thing to do, but like the time to do that it's a lot, you know, like I couldn't do it for free because of how much time it would take. So I'd have to charge for this course, which maybe people might want, but what if they don't? And I spend a year making this thing and then nobody wants it, you know, like to write a book or to do anything like that is just a huge gamble. you know, when I would have to put aside my day job and like drop certain clients so I could work less and I could do this. Like, I've had a lot of ideas. There's still a couple that I really would like to do. There's one really cool one that I'm thinking about doing still. I got some friends on board that we would like to try, but it's that same thing. Like, when are we going to do it? It's tough. It's tough, but hopefully you'll see some interesting things from me in the near future. All right. The next question is from Pewee. It says, if you could take 3 skaters from the past and bring them to the present to see what they could do if they grew up now and skated with modern boards and followed the trends of today, who would you choose? Important note, taking them out of their timeline doesn't change the course of history. So if you choose Mullen, all the tricks he invented would still exist. I get what you're saying. Like, what if Gons grew up right now? What if he was 13 right now? How would he be when he was 30 years old? It is interesting to think about, but the thing that I started thinking about after I read your question was like, all of these guys are around right now. You know, like the very first generation of skaters who you would know. I mean, there are people who are riding around on things that were kind of like skateboards in the 40s, but like anyone who was first invented any kind of trick, unless they died tragically, like they haven't died of old age yet. We are still have the first generation of pro skateboarders are still around. So I was thinking about Tony Hawk did a for the barracks, they do a thing where he drives around, says, hey, do a kickflip, and if he does, he gets free stuff, right? And Tony Hawk in that video was so blown away that he could just pull up somewhere to some kids, you know, like standing outside the skate park, and say, do a kickflip, and they could all do it. Like it blew his mind, because when he was a kid, a kickflip was a really hard, really specialized trick that one of the best expert freestylers in the world just invented. You know, like he still has that in his head, where this is a difficult trick, and the idea that all these kids can do it is kind of mind-blowing to him. And so you can kind of see that, like see how skaters would react to things now. So I don't know, like what would be the most skilled skateboarders of all time? Mullen would probably be one of the obvious ones. I think Tom Penny would be a good one, because, you know, he has such great style. What if he was doing the most current, more technical, crazy tricks that we do now, but he was doing it with the style that he had, you know? I'm not sure. I don't know how much skateboarding is like genetic and how much is like environment and all that kind of stuff. You'd have to bring their friends with them so they would all grow together in the same way, you know, like I'm not sure, but I thought it was an interesting excuse to point out that we still have the first generation of pro skaters around. All right. Next is from Steve, who says, in the future, when all the pro skaters grow old, could they use walking sticks to create new skate tricks? No, because those have already been done. I was recently I tried to find this thread. I wanted to show the clips that he was sending me. He was a guy who was on a crutch, I believe, and he would like plan it and then do a crazy trick. He was doing like the most ridiculous stuff. You know, like he'd do a kickflip and then catch and do like a late shove it that like flipped a little bit, and then he'd flip it back with this foot or whatever. And he was trying to help me, or have me help him name what those tricks were. Some of them you couldn't really name because you couldn't do it without that extra airtime. Like it's just way too much going on that you couldn't do if you didn't have a crutch planted. So there are people who are doing that kind of stuff right now. And so like maybe there'll be more of it. But if you are in a position where you are just old and you need a crutch because everything hurts, you know, that's different from having an injury. So I'm not sure, but I think that at least this one guy, hopefully I find it before I edit, but I doubt it. I looked pretty hard. I think he has pioneered this already, and there are other people doing the same thing. Interesting idea, though. Good thought. All right. Last is from Baby Thor. It says, why do all pro skaters slowly start to lose their skills after a while? Some examples I think of are Eric Costin and Ardo Sari. They've put out so little footage over the past few years, and the footage I have seen recently seem to be simple or transition tricks. There are so many more skaters that this happens to as well. Is it because they are getting old and tired? I would think someone as talented as themselves would not lose their skills and continue to progress. Okay. I can see why you're called Baby Thor. You must not be old enough to have experienced anything like this. I listened to an interview with Colt Cannon very recently, and it was from like 2019, I think. Pretty current. And he had an ankle surgery, and it like shortened the tendon. And so he says when he bends down for a trick, his heel kind of comes up. So like he's lost some range of motion. But beyond that, he's kind of gotten past that, and he can skate again. He goes to skate parks and he does stuff, and he was talking about this line he did. And he did like this long nose grind, does a trick up this thing, and then he lands with his switch 360, and he says it was just flawless, perfect, landed bolts, drew everyone's eye. It was just the most amazing trick ever. He lands perfect, and he goes to stand up, and like his back is out. Until you've had stuff like that happen, like you wouldn't really get it. Like for me, I hurt my knee, and it's been months now, but I've recorded like 9 videos, so I don't have to go up and down the stairs. So it's been the same day. If you've heard me complaining about my knee months ago, that may have been today. But I hurt my knee very badly. I tore something in there. Still have to go get an MRI and stuff. I tore it by getting a dish out of the dishwasher. There was never a moment where it hurt, but it had been sore, and I walked like 3 miles on it when it was kind of sore and it was hurting, and I didn't touch it for a while, and it slowly got better. Like I thought everything was fine, and I bend down, totally fine. I reached for it, and when I reached a certain part, there was just like this explosion of pain. Like I felt through my whole body. It was just like this tingly like sensation, just like of pain, it just agony. It was horrible. And so if I were to get back to a point where I could skate again, it will probably take a long time. Let's say it's a year, and I start skating again. How hard do you think I'm going to go? I mean, how much do you think I would have lost in the last year? And how hard am I going to skate? How much am I going to practice to get back to that level? Like skill-wise, I still have the same potential. But if I can't skate as much, and every time I get hurt, I'm out for longer, it gets to a point where I'm going to do less and less risky things. Next time I go to a skate park, hopefully there is a time when I can go to a skate park again. I'm going to do 50-50s. I'm going to do no slides. Do flat ground kick flips, and I'm just going to kind of loop around the park and do that kind of stuff. It's going to be simple. It's going to be very low impact. It's going to be low risk, and I'm going to get to a point where I can do those, and I'm not going to be throwing myself down stuff. You know, it's just not going to happen. And so as you get older, I mean, I'm only mid-30s, but as you get even older, like, you probably have the same kind of issue I have with my knee with other joints. If I was always throwing out my back and stuff like that, like you just can't go that hard. So I think you'll see when you get there that it makes sense. Like Tony Hawk is kind of an exception. Like he skates all the time. He's always doing big tricks, but even now he has retired certain tricks. He's not even going to try anymore. And I get it. Like I definitely get it. So that's what that's about. There's only so much you can do as you get older to stay on top of, you know, athletic stuff. But, you know, hopefully you'll have a different experience than I did at the very least. But that's it for now. If you have any questions of your own, go to radratvideo.com and submit them there on the homepage. You can also buy a shirt that looks a lot like this while you're there. And you can also support the channel by subscribing on Patreon, so you can sponsor me on there. And you can hit the join button here on YouTube. That helps me out as well. So that's it for this time. Thanks for hanging out.